Hello, and welcome to RollBound. My name is Chas, and I am the DM for this wonderful group. We're going to go down the list and everyone introduce themselves, starting off with Groove. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Groove, and I am bound to the role of Chronoherist Mobius.
Alrighty, and Allie.
Hello, I am Ali. I am bound to the role of Charybdis Mobius.
Alrighty, Minnow.
Hello, my name is Minnow. I am bound to the role of Lady Reverie.
Awesome. Mickey.
Hi, I'm Mickey, and I'm bound to the role of Maria.
And last but never least, Joey.
My name is Joey, and I am bound to the role of Winfrey McNeil.
So, the lot of you hear the bells sounding off on the ship to sort of signal that the ship is pulling in. And as the siren song pulls in, you see this beautiful forested coast. And not very far in the distance from this coast is a little walled-in city. You hear many voices of the crew getting ready for docking, kind of sound over the sound of everybody else.
Docking to Valiare! Docking to Valiare!
And you hear people sort of, kind of rushing to get all their stuff ready, finish their breakfast if they already have their stuff. The boat goes from relatively calm and peaceful to extremely busy as people are getting ready to unload. Last I recall, a lot of you were all sort of together waiting for the boat to dock, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, again, as you are approaching, the shore is getting ever closer. What are a lot of you doing?
Since the shore is ever approaching, is the bar still open?
You can check.
Because Winfrey would 100% be, milking that for all it's worth.
So, Winfrey, you want to go check if the bar is open? Don't want to deal with the crowd of people?
Fuck no.
Alright, does anyone follow Winfrey?
I do not, but I would like to know, first of all, how close in feet are we to the docks, roughly?
Probably like 500, over 500 feet.
Okay. Do we smell anything?
What kind of smell are you looking for here? Are you thinking...
I'm just looking for atmosphere.
It kind of smells like, you still kind of smell the salt water of the sea, but you get this sort of pine scent as you're approaching the shore. Like, for a while you just smelled sort of the seawater, and you're kind of getting closer to smelling like the forest.
Gotcha. Would Charybdis... I assume they have pine in license, since it's, snowy.
Yeah. Although, mostly, the trees in license are kind of its own breed. They're like a crossbreed between a, cherry blossom tree and a birch. Obviously, it's a tree that doesn't exist, in real life, but... Yeah, they have pine trees, kind of more in southern license, kind of closer nearing the other countries, but mostly licenses, fauna population is these weird sort of unnaturally colored plants.
Gotcha.
But you are approaching definitely, it is very obviously, forested. The quote-unquote beach on the coast of Vairon is, ridiculously tiny. It's, sand grass!
Alright, fair enough.
Just for flavor, not something we need to dwell on. Lady Reverie was spending time with the Mobius twins, as it is her job to keep them safe as their bodyguard now. And at one point, Charybdis looks over and sees that Lady Reverie has completely wandered off. And she's currently about 40 feet away, talking with an old half-elf man about his memories of Retka and how he went there when he was younger, and she is just listening with rapt attention and having a great time talking to this random old guy. But has also completely forgotten the Mobius twins exist.
Oh.
Charybdis is going to take out the wire sphere and then hold it up and just whisper into it, casting message to Lady Reverie. We're about to dock. Be ready.
Lady Reverie stands up and looks extremely confused and says, Charybdis? Shakes her head for a second, then goes back to talking to this guy.
Charybdis whispers into it. Reverie!
Charybdis? Same exact response.
I'm...
Charybdis, question mark?
Can I throw a non-damaging ray of frost at Lady Reverie to get her attention?
Yeah.
Like, just like a little shower. Okay. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna poke Reverie with some ice.
Ow, what the fuck? Oh, hey, Charybdis. Looks back to the man. It was so lovely to meet you, and I wish you all the best. Your grandchildren sound amazing. They haven't met me before, but tell them I said hi anyway. It'll confuse them. And I'll then walk back to Charybdis, like I had never left.
Yeah, Charybdis having a bright smile on her face, very happy and amused at this scene. And just happy to see Reverie, because, Reverie's a delight.
Damn right.
Do a lot of you notice that Winfrey has left? Or, a better question, Winfrey, did you announce that you were leaving?
I mean, I might have said something to the equivalent of like, hey, another round or two before we dock, eh? I'm gonna, and then I would probably just start making my way back after that.
I rolled a perception check because I was already looking around at our surroundings, and I got a grand total of 4, so I'm gonna say no. I probably didn't notice that Winfrey left.
Yeah, so like Winfrey said it and it went in one ear, out the other. Like, you were too busy, like, there was one more person here, Reverie, that was supposed to be here, and now she's gone. What the... Like, you were so focused on finding where Reverie was that, like, Winfrey walking off just totally right under your nose, literally because she's shorter than you.
She's shorter than everybody.
Maria, what are you up to?
She would have probably followed to the bar.
Okay, so Maria would have went with, Winfrey then. Yeah. Cool, so that leaves Chrono Harris, Lady Reverie, and Charybdis up on top deck?
Indeed.
Cool. So, Chrono Harris, what are your thoughts as you're approaching the shoreline?
As Chrono Harris sees the shoreline coming into view, he is primarily concerned with getting off of the boat. He doesn't want to be too close, as the crowd makes him slightly anxious, or rather the thought of being in it. But he certainly is ready to depart to Firefall.
Yes, that is the city you're on your way to.
Yeah. He is leaning off of the railing, just staring out, waiting for it to come ever closer.
As you're nearing the dock, you hear this very loud horn, because now you're close enough to where you can see people lined up, as if the Siren song is going to do, like, an exchange, and then take off again. And as you're all sort of waiting for it to dock, more people start to just pile up into the area where they're expected to leave. Children are trying to look over the side of the ship to look into the water and at the coast. It is getting busy.
I mean, in a fantasy world, you can't escape layovers.
I think at this point, Charybdis is going to she's going to put the wire sphere back on her hip and then just kind of like stretch a bit and like crack her knuckles outwards. And as she does so, there's a spark of arcane energy as I recast Major.
Cool. Winfrey and Maria, when you go down to the bar, you can tell that it's full of people that, similar to you, just don't want to be a part of the crowd and so are drinking until they can get off the boat without dealing with it.
Sick.
So it's like, it's very not full. There's like 5 other people there. But your bartender, once again, is Sparks. He doesn't quite notice you walk in. He's just sort of like cleaning the counter. You see there's a bag next to the bar that like most likely is his. And he's sort of like just sort of cleaning up.
Just kind of give him a nod, and then,
Do you sit at the bar, go find yourself a table?
Oh, I'd sit right at the bar, yeah, of course.
Okay. Sparks, looks up from what he's doing and goes, "Oh, you're back! How'd that job go? A lot of you never came back here."
We didn't? Oh, I suppose we didn't now, did we? It went fine.
Yeah, I assume you went and got dinner rather than another drink. That buffet's got some great options. I can't say I blame you.
You wouldn't be blaming me either.
You looking to have another drink before we dock?
Certainly. At least another couple, maybe.
He pulls down a cup that was hanging upside down from a little rack and then flourishes in his fingers and sets it on the counter and goes, "Scotch again!"
Actually... Lady Maria, what be your drink of choice now?
I drink pretty much anything. I tend to go for gin, though.
Gin it'll be, then.
Ooh, gin! Do you do a gin and tonic or just straight gin?
Straight
gin and tonics for pussies. No, not really. I'll take one.
Yeah, so you see him pull up another glass and again flourish it all fancy because, that's how he is. And he sets one down in front of Maria and then pushes the one in front of Winfrey a little closer to her. And then you see him pull out another bottle and you see him kind of twist it. And then this whirlpool forms in the bottle. And then it seems to empty of liquid somehow. And then looks like it refills, but the water in it now looks like it's got bubbles in it. And he takes off the cap, pours a little bit of it, and then pours the gin on top with some ice, and then just pours straight gin into Maria's. And he sets both the bottles back under the counter and goes, "Those will probably be my last drinks of the day. Hope you enjoy them, though." Well, of course, if you get refills, but you know what I mean. There's not many people down here.
I just give him a nod, and then by the time we finish our drink, hopefully, it'll be safe to escape.
Yeah, as you're trying to enjoy your drink, you just hear constant, horns going off. You can hear the sound of the crowd from outside of the bar. You just, sounds like you're in an empty room, and then right next door is, a whole fucking wedding going on. There's so many people talking. You hear people running, stomping. You hear the sounds of, I forgot what it's called, the people that carry luggage. Anyway. Bellhops? Bellhops! Bellhops, yeah. You hear the sounds of, those guys sort of, telling each other where to put shit down. It is loud as fuck outside. You hear the sounds of, people yelling at your families, "Get back here! No, don't go that way! No, right here, stand next to Mom!" It is loud out there.
I think as we're pulling in, how, far away are we from the water itself? How tall are we, from the water?
How big is the boat?
Yeah, basically.
About, 20 feet up, 25 feet up.
20 feet? Okay. I'm going to use shape water. I'm going to scoop out basically, a 5-foot cube's worth of water. I'm going to animate it into a small pony that's just going to walk back and forth and, pace for Charybdis.
I'm so stressed out, I'm going to have my magic pace for me. Oh, but yeah, after about another 15 minutes, the boat comes to a complete stop at the dock. And, for Charybdis, once again, now just the whole area, you can kind of intake the breeze has changed a little bit. It's a little cooler, as you near the dock. And now anyone on top deck can actually fully see the city of Valiare, which can be recognized. It has a very large clock tower, at the back of it that can be very clearly seen from the shore. Kind of off the side of the shore is a little, water mill. But it's it goes dock. There's a big building kind of off to the right that you don't quite know what it is because it's shrouded in trees, the mill, and then the walls of the city. Once again, when the boat stops, you hear a bunch of people yelling, "All right, load off!" And people are just spilling out of the boat.
So remember that horse that I made earlier?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have it walk in front of me.
As a means to sort of, get people out of the way.
I'm going to grab Chrono Harris's hand with my left, and with my right, Charybdis is just going to be, focusing on this water horse as it walks in front of her to give her and Chrono Harris some, space, essentially. Because I assume as we're trying to get off, other people are trying to get on, yeah?
Yeah, well, they're going to let everyone get off before letting the other people get on.
Oh, well, in that case, it's going to be traveling behind me and Chrono Harris to give us some space from the people behind us.
Okay.
Chrono Harris is simultaneously ensuring no shady figures approach to give him tuberculosis, and is looking for Trixie, as well as the other compatriots.
You're trying to see if you see Trixie get off the boat?
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Yes. Boom. It's going to be a total of 18.
So you're kind of looking around, and Trixie's very small, so you're sort of leaning your head down a little bit to see if you could see her tiger-like peats amongst the other people in her bright green dress. And you don't see her getting off the ship, but once you sort of make your way from the ship onto the loading ramp and out into the, clean air of outside, you see her standing on the very, very end of the dock behind the big crowd of people entering, kind of waiting there. Almost like she got off the boat rather early. One of the first people to get off the boat. Which, due to her stature, makes sense. Didn't want to get crushed.
Yes, he will release his hold on Charybdis' hand and approach Trixie. So, Firefall, where will this Lady Serena be?
Like I told you, she would be at the Cat's Tail Cafe and Diner. That's where she told me she would wait.
Yes. You are in this cafe? Or will we have to discover that ourselves?
Trust me, when you see her, you'll know it's her.
That is incredibly foreboding.
She's a very unique-looking lady. She's kind of like me in the fact that she's cat-like, but a little different.
And you're not accompanying us?
No.
Why?
I need to go home and check on my son. It'll be a long journey for me as well, but I have to go in a very different direction. I also...
She, looks into the woods that are, off to, behind her, and she's like,
I would just slow you down.
Probably. And, Harris is going to wait for the rest.
As Charybdis gets off of the, plank, I guess? I don't know how big of a thing this is.
It's a pretty large ramp, so it's on the side of the ship, and it's just this big, reinforced metal and wooden platform that sort of, is released down with chains.
Oh, this is a whole-ass bridge.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. But as Charybdis gets off it and then just, goes over to the side, she's gonna find a spot where there's nobody, there. She's going to have the horse water shape walk in front of her. She's going to curtsy to it and then snap her fingers, and it's going to freeze into a statue. And then she's going to meet up with her brother.
Yeah, and when you approach Colonel Harris, you do see Trixie there as well.
Oh, hello, Trixie. Glad to see you got here safely.
Yeah, although someone stepped on my tail.
And you see her, lift her tail, and it has this little bandage, bunny ear tied around it.
Aww.
Lady Reverie will walk forward and say, "Oop, that was probably me. That looks like a Reverie-shaped foot." And she'll reach out, and I'll give her 1 hit point from Lay on Hands.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know who did it, but it hurt.
Charybdis looks around and says, "Where are Winfrey and Maria?"
Perhaps they've already deserted.
I'm going to point vaguely where Charybdis would think the bar is. And I'm going to cast a message to Maria and say, Maria, can you hear me? Where are you?
Is that the all I can respond to?
Can you repeat what you said? I didn't catch that.
I said, is that the spell I can respond to?
Yes.
She, just at the bar, waiting for the release of people to calm down.
Yeah. Truthfully, I don't even know if the spell would work, because it's got a range of 120 feet. And, it's blocked by an inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood. So I don't know how thick the walls are in this ship, but I don't know that Maria got that message.
Assuming the walls are made of wood, 3 feet is pretty fucking big.
There's lots of walls.
That's true.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, that spell might have not made it to Maria, I don't think.
Chronoharis will get his familiar, Dr. Agartha, to fly about and see whether they've deserted or if they're lost or whatever, with the directive to bring them back.
Yeah. So you send your familiar to just kind of go look around?
To find Maria and Winfrey, specifically.
Can you have your familiar roll an investigation check for me?
Yes. That's a base 19. Should I add the modifier? Do I need to?
No, you're good. That's good. Okay. Honestly, if you had gotten over an 11, I would have given it to you. Yeah, so your familiar sort of weaves through people, and Maria and Winfrey, you hear the flapping of wings, and you see Chronoharis' familiar fly into the bar, and then spot you, like a sort of like enemy spotted sort of thing going on.
Do we actually know what that looked like? Have we seen that before?
Chronoharis has brought his... Yeah,
he had to keep guard in the storeroom, and he told it to go get the captain as well. Yeah, so it walks in, hops up onto the bar. It seems to be missing limbs, but there's a sort of spectral overlay which enables it to act as if it has those limbs. And it waddles over, taps its talon a couple times to the bartender. And you can tell from a look that Dr. Agartha is a Scotch bird.
Sparks is looking at the familiar and looks up and goes, "Is this animal abuse? Is this animal abuse?"
Taps his talons a couple more times, slightly more impatient.
You know what? You see him pour a little shot glass of scotch and hand it to the familiar.
He seems to lean down, puts out his little owl tongue into it only once. Beak smacks up and down a bit, and he nods in approval, then turns to the two and gives them a set of beckoning hoots before leaving and waiting outside.
What is a beckoning hoot?
It's a beckoning hoot. You just that's the kind of man Dr. Agartha is. Okay, you just kind of hear him and you know.
Okay, I see. Yeah, makes sense.
Fucking hoots at you like an annoyed mom after you stayed up past 12. Aww.
Might as well listen to the good doctor.
Sparks
yes,
oh, go ahead, my bad. Finish your thought.
It is your bad. No. Yeah, But he would just wait outside, and then as they come out, he would keep moving and waiting and moving and waiting until they're where Chrono Harris is.
Yeah, Sparks looks at Winfrey and Maria and goes, well, I don't know what just happened, but you see him grab that bag from behind the bar and throw it over his shoulder and goes, it was nice meeting you ladies.
Was it really?
Yeah, it kept me entertained, and really that's all that I need.
Hey, simple creatures and whatnot. Alright, well. That's it, she's not gonna actually say bye.
You hear him call after you, good luck on your travels!
She's
Yeah.
not gonna answer that. Well.
So Maria and Winfrey all head out to reconvene with the rest of the party?
By
Yeah.
the
Yes.
time they get to us, Charybdis is building a sandcastle.
Trixie's helping.
Oh.
Like Charybdis, you see Trixie walk up with an armful of seashells and just drop them on the ground and just looks up at Charybdis and goes,
I'm helping.
Charybdis says,
Indeed you are, thank you.
and then gestures over to the water, and then just gets a big sphere of water, and then just kind of digs a little pit in the sand with her hands, and then just moves the water into it, so they have something to make sand-based mud out of to reinforce the sandcastle.
And then Winfrey comes out and kicks it over. I wouldn't do that. I'm not a fucking monster.
evil character. Description, kick sandcastles. And that's it. That's the worst thing about them. They donate to charity, go to church, but they're evil because they kick sandcastles.
It's like when you're writing down the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws at the very bottom, you just put kicks over sandcastles. And then next to ideals, it just says evil.
The big bad of the campaign goes, the reason I'm like this, you know why I do this? Because that bitch kicked my sandcastle 20 years ago.
Because a 4-foot-tall Scotch woman fucking ruined my day.
5 foot tall, come on now.
Are you?
Yes.
Hey, that foot matters.
But I don't kick over sandcastles.
Joey's like, I may be an edgelord, but you know what I don't do? Kick over Disney princesses' sandcastles.
Absolutely not.
Continuing on, Maria and Winfrey, you seem to get out almost as soon as the other people start just boarding. You manage to weave your way through before the crowd gets too ridiculous, as you see that the crowd that's sort of been waiting outside of the city is just now kind of coagulating into a huddle of individuals as they're all sort of getting their way into the ship.
Great, perfect, of course. I couldn't get out when everyone else was gone. Had to come out as soon as everybody else started coming in.
Since everyone else is sort of off to the side and even along the beach a little bit, you do manage to see your party, since everyone else went right into the city. So they stick out like a sore thumb, or a sandy one.
Mm-hmm.
Do we, well, Cornelius would know of Firefall, so how many days' journey would this be? And what pitfalls or hazards would we know of that may be along the way? You know what he'll ask Trixie. How many days we'll be traveling, and what should we expect?
Well, that would be up to you, really. Thankfully, between Valiare and Firefall, despite it being maybe 2 days, there's actually a road you can follow. At most, you'll probably, if you're super unlucky, you may run into some bandits or some wildlife. But other than that, there's a road that you can follow. You just might have to camp 1 or 2 times.
Sounds like fun.
Very well then. Is there anything anyone else needs while we're in town?
Brother, did we remember to bring tents?
No.
We may want to get tents.
Tents. Yeah. That's smart.
Well, everyone, it was nice meeting you.
Trixie kind of looks between everybody.
But, I must go.
Charybdis holds out a hand to Trixie and says,
It's been an absolute pleasure.
She reaches up her little clawed hand and shakes, like, her hand is only really big enough to grab, like, 3 of Charybdis's fingers. So she, like, wraps her whole hand around and shakes her 3 fingers.
Charybdis is trying her hardest not to, but, like, it's still escaping a little bit. The pout when you see something cute.
Yeah.
As soon as that handshake ends, Lady Reverie gives her a hug. Like, full on, picks her up off the ground.
Oh, thank you.
Puts her back down again, gives her a pat on the shoulder, and says, "It was great to meet you. I'm glad that we didn't have to throw you overboard."
Oh, me too. Well, anyway, I wish you all the best of luck, and you might see me again.
Oh, I very much think we will.
Either way, I hope your journey is safe.
And, Trixie sort of hobbles off, because she's so small, so she just kind of waddles when she walks. And then the siren song leaves as quickly as it entered.
As Trixie leaves, Charybdis turns to Lady Reverie and just, like, now going into the full-on pout.
Her hands are so small.
All of her is small.
What a delightful person.
You are also very tall.
Thank you.
You're welcome?
You're welcome.
More of an observation, but I'm glad it made you happy.
Colonel Harris is going to get tense.
So y'all are gonna go
Oh,
into
sorry.
the city?
No, Charybdis finish first.
Charybdis,
But, like, while this is happening, guys, you just dipping.
like, tilts her chin up and just kind of does the little wiggle of pride and says,
Well, my family is known for being quite tall in stature.
Amazing.
Except for
What-
Uncle
what?
Edward.
Except for Uncle Edward.
He's like 4'8", and we don't know why.
He sounds like a delight.
He is. A lot of people mistake him for a dwarf.
And while Chronoheris walks away, Lady Reverie will just to sort of, yada yada, Lady Reverie will spend time asking Charybdis about the various heights of their family, and the just like getting Charybdis to talk more, just asking a lot of questions because it seems like she is okay with telling more.
Charybdis enjoys every second, basically info dumps to Lady Reverie about their family.
For probably the first time since you have met Reverie, you have her whole attention.
Yeah, so did a lot of you enter the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gates are open. There's some guards. They look like they're in, like, hunter's gear rather than armor. They both have bows strapped over their torso, and both of them are carrying swords. But they don't question you as you walk in. They just sort of nod their heads and go, "Welcome to Valiare."
Charybdis gives them a curtsy as she walks.
Yeah, and when you make it into the city, the gate, like, on one side, there's a very large, building. Kind of is, like, fancier of a building in comparison to the rest of them, but the sort of narrow back passageway in sort of fans out into this clearing, with a lot of tents and stalls. It goes very quickly from an entrance into a big sort of market with a fountain in the middle. It's a very small fountain. There isn't much paving, It's sort of like grass with some dirt where everyone has their tent set up and stuff like that. The city is fairly small. It is big enough to be walled. There is, a market, and then on the outer sort of edges of the city are just like all the housing and stuff like that. From the entrance where you sort of enter in, you can literally see the sort of, I wouldn't call it a palace, it's a very minor castle, where obviously whoever runs the place lives. It's a fairly small, hunting city.
Can I look around to find a, general supply store?
Yeah, make me, I guess I would say an investigation. Yeah.
Great. Excited. Oh, 0! Natural 1 minus 1, 0.
Nice.
Nope, I'm actually, just kidding, I'm still explaining things to Reverie about my family. I have not even noticed that we've entered the gates yet.
We are probably super lost, as we are both like, yeah, we'll find the general goods store, and then you're just talking and I'm not paying attention, we get fucking lost.
Yeah, Charybdis, as you're, walking forward, you know that the party generally went kind of, veered off this way, except you didn't veer off. You run into a pole.
Yep.
You're, walking, then suddenly you, your whole chest just hits this wooden pole. Just bonk!
This surprises Charybdis, and she kind of recoils and then, reflexively just sneezes. Oh, goodness. Where are we?
Oh, we're in the city.
Oh, when did that happen?
You hear a few kids kind of chuckling at the fact that they watched you hit the pole.
Charybdis gets very distracted by these children, and then, using prestidigitation, just conjures, you ever see those old commercials for, Fushigi? Those, reflective, mirror balls?
Fushigi! Yeah.
I conjure one of those, and then just start rolling it back and forth.
Glorified fucking paperweight teaches you center of gravity.
I'm gonna use a second use of prestidigitation to generate just, a little light behind it.
The, 3 little kids that were sitting on, the steps of the big building just go, oh.
Performance check?
Yeah, make me a performance check.
Man, that is deeply unfortunate.
Not good, I'm guessing.
I don't have the thing that lets me reroll things yet, so yeah, that is a 5.
Yeah, one kid goes, whoa, and then the other one goes,
Hey man, pay attention. They just used magic. Oh.
and then the third kid goes, yeah, let's go play somewhere else.
Charybdis, the ball just stops rolling and then, falls off and then breaks on the ground before dissipating into, purple dust. And she's just like, oh.
Hard to please.
Charybdis' face goes stoic and she looks to Lady Reverie and says, come on, find that store.
We're looking for a store?
Yes.
Oh, what kind of store?
General supply store. Someplace that sells tents, preferably.
Tents. You got it. DM, can I look for a bakery?
Tents. Yeah, make me an investigation check.
5.
Yeah, you
bakery.
You look around for a bakery, and you see a big building that says general store, except for the fact that that's not what you're looking for, so that doesn't count, and then you just go, you don't find it. You get caught looking at literally everything else.
Not my most successful trip so far. You walked into a pole, disappointed some children, we got lost, I want a scone.
Yeah, I've had finer hours, that's for sure. Where did my brother go?
And then Charybdis starts looking around for Chrono Harris.
Oh right, I'm supposed to be watching him.
Chrono Harris is looking for the general store.
Alright, group. Alright, you ready? Make me an investigation check.
Alright. That is going to be a total of 25.
That is a stark contrast from my 0.
Yeah, Colonel Harris, you have places to go, so you find that there's this little wooden pole that has arrows on it, and you look up at it and you go, general store, that way. It's at sort of the end of the tents. It's this I wouldn't say it's a big building, but it's a larger building than, the stands. And it's kind of at the very end, and there's a little sign hanging off of it that has a backpack on it, and it just says, Hunter's General Goods.
Yeah, he kind of mutters to himself, been an idiot to find this, and goes inside to buy tents, as well as other gear. Quick check out of game. Does anyone have a tent already? They're 2 GP and 2 persons per tent.
Nope.
Nobody?
No.
Disgusting.
I have a bedroll.
Me too.
Alright, yeah, he's going to buy 3 tents, and that will be all.
So,
yeah, we have everything else we need.
Yeah, so you just quickly hop in, get 3 tents for 6 GP, and that's it?
That'll be all. And then he'll head out, and he'll command Dr. Agartha, to do the thing. At which point, he goes and he finds Charybdis, and he gives this series of 2 short hoots and 1 long one, which for years has been the, you've lost your brother, and I am here to guide you to him again, signal.
Hearing this sound, Charybdis' clockwork ferret just kind of climbs from somewhere in her clothes, and then gets on her shoulder, and then just starts waving to the owl and chittering, and then taps Charybdis on the left side of her cheek to get her attention. She looks and sees the owl and tries to mimic the sound that the owl made. Quite well, actually. I got a 20 on a perform check. I expected to roll terribly. And then we'll follow the owl. Grab Reverie and follow the owl.
Yeah, Maria and Winfrey. Are you just tailing behind? Do you have anything you want to look for?
I mean, I don't give a flying fuck about whatever the hell Reverie and Charybdis are talking about, so I'm probably going to go to the general store with them.
Yeah, so Winfrey, you literally skirted by Charybdis when she ran into a pole and just went, not my problem, and kept going.
Intelligence is a dub stat.
And then, I would say you would walk in line with Colonel Harris. Is there anything you're specifically looking for and or need?
I'm thinking about it. We're not exactly in a cold part of the world, and it is summer, so I don't think cold weather gear is going to be a requirement here. I can't really think of much that I would need outside of maybe some food for the journey.
Yeah, actually, this is not going to be RollBound's first shopping episode, but please make sure you have your stuff.
I have 10 days of ration.
If there is a market, I'm gonna stray away and find a market where I can get fresh fruit.
Oh yeah, the whole walkway leading down to the general goods store, that's basically what it was. Seasoning, fresh cuts, because this is a little hunting city you can gather.
Oh.
Yeah, which is why it's not very, over the top. It has a wall, it has buildings, you can see the castle for whoever is important there, and it's got a market.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna get a bunch of, fresh fruit and produce. I guess seasoning as well, because Winfrey knows how to cook. She's very good at it.
Yeah, so in sort of the lot of fruit you get, there's actually some fruits that IRL, hold on, let me pull up. There's a fruit you get that I want to tell you about, because it's cool.
I hope it's a kumquat.
You know, I'm gonna say it out loud. Kumquat sounds like an insult, and I wish we could
does.
use it as an insult. It sounds like what you call someone when they do something stupid.
There's nothing
You
stopping
can use kumquat as an insult. It's like a little tiny shittier orange.
Yeah, kumquat.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I gotta look. Pardon me while I'm being dumb. There we go, there it is. So, in, like, the assortment of fruit you get one fruit, I don't know if it would be familiar to Winfrey, but I'm mainly saying this to make it familiar with all of you. There's a fruit in there called a grizzly, and it basically looks like a cross between, like, a mango and an orange, except it's, like, this larger fruit that has two little buds on the top that make it look like a teddy bear head, like a circle with two little circles for ears. That's what it looks like. And they're called grizzlies. And they have a texture like a mango, but it's known that they taste like honey, like straight honey, and they're called grizzlies.
Is the reason that it's like an orange is because it has like a skin you have to peel off, or?
Yeah, you can like
Okay.
it's a very thin skin. It's nowhere near as thick as an orange, but you would like it's not enjoyable to eat the skin.
Okay, so it's like an orange shaped banana.
Basically, that tastes like honey
Okay.
on the inside.
That sounds delicious, actually.
There's
If it
also
tastes like honey, oh man, if it tastes like honey, you could work that into a bunch of recipes as well. Ooh. Ideas.
There's also another set of berries in there that in universe they're called lieberries, and lieberries look like strawberries. The main difference is that they're blue and their flavor is a little muted. It's not as sweet. It's kind of like it's very dull in comparison, but it can be used in things that only need like a hint of its flavor.
I can probably think of a couple of things for that too. Don't worry, we'll have cooking episodes too.
I'm told it makes for a really good jam.
Yeah, jam or tarts, pies, stuff like that.
I'm not a baker. Baking's scary, but I am a cook. Baking is scary, dude. If you don't put that in, if you push 45 minutes and it needs to be in there for more or less, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Yeah, but I just wanted to let you know about cute little fantasy fruits. Anyway, continue. I believe like a day's worth of rations is like 5 SP or some shit.
Oh, rations, come on now.
Yeah, you would spend less than 1 gold piece getting the fruit, is what I'm telling you.
Well, I'm also just gonna look for like like things like salted meats and other produce and stuff like that because Winfrey cooks her own meals. She doesn't eat the MRE shit.
Oh yeah, next to the fruit stand there would be fresh venison and Vairon boar cuts, like hunted that morning. And there's also fish. There's a fuck ton of fish. There's so much fish.
Fish will probably last longer when salted, so I would take that. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just assuming. I could be wrong.
Yeah, again, regardless, your grand total would still come up to less than a gold piece.
Sheesh, even with all that.
Maybe a singular gold piece. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Since everybody is buying stuff, I'm going to make it clear to not only people listening, but also to the party. I looked up the rough estimates of D&D currency to, like, what would be USD, except it came up to be decimals, and I think that's stupid. So, a copper is $1, a silver piece is $10, a gold piece is $100, and a platinum piece is $1,000. So when
I mean, it's solid gold, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so, again, I'm gonna, because again, the actual, like, the people that made D&D did not calculate it in a particular way, but I wanted a rough value, so if things seem to be priced either weird or way less in my universe, it's because I don't think a bag of holding is worth $2 million. in a world where magic is normal. That's all I'm saying. So I'm putting that out there, that is our system for currency.
Even when we go grocery shopping, though, like, if you're shopping for, what do we have here, like 6 people, right? Something like that?
I didn't think, okay, are you shopping for the whole party?
Yeah, I'm not gonna let the people I'm traveling with eat, like
savages.
Dried up swill.
Yeah, then it would probably be about a gold piece.
Yeah. Cool. That's all that I'm buying, though, and then I'm gonna have someone else carry it for me because I'm tiny.
What is Maria doing?
I would be shopping as well. I have a list. Do you want me to just send it to you?
Yeah, just send it to me and I'll tell you about how much it would cost. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh.
Stop that. No more.
I am going to, Charybdis is going to try to, along the way of following the owl, stop off at, some place that might sell paints.
That would probably be the general store.
Okay, cool. Well then, in that case, yeah.
Yeah, just send me the list of what y'all need.
I'm literally just the explanation is Charybdis is basically refilling her calligrapher supplies. So she's grabbing writing ink, fancy ink, and some paints. Don't need to read too much into it. Although, I'm assuming the answer is no. Do they have any special paper and ink?
Not particularly.
Okay. So nothing for stealth scribing, then?
No.
Fair enough.
While Charybdis is buying paints, Lady Reverie gets bored and distracted and walks outside.
No.
And she finds a street performer that's just playing music, and she will go up and start playing music with them. If people tip, she makes sure that the performer gets all the tips. But yeah, Charybdis, you just look around and all of a sudden Reverie's gone again. She'll find you eventually, it's fine.
Yeah, Lady Reverie, when you go out to kind of hang out with someone that's performing, you notice that other people sort of see it, and you see someone go into their house and come out with their own instrument, and
oh hell yeah.
They sit by the fountain and start playing, and this sets off a chain reaction of people just coming out and playing their instruments. And some kids that were playing in the market sort of come out and start dancing with each other. And just this sort of city square sort of just erupts in music for a little bit. And the rest of the party would hear this.
You said
I believe I started a block party. This is great.
Repeat that?
You said there's a fountain nearby?
Yeah, so at the very beginning of the market, it's a kind of small fountain. It's a pool of water.
How big are we talking?
About maybe 10 feet wide, 10 feet in diameter.
Okay, I would like to attempt to focus on shape water to make the water that's coming out of the fountain purple and sparkly.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
And then I'm also gonna use shape water to make it dance along with the music.
Yeah, and this little mini sort of meetup of people lasts about 10 to 15 minutes, and then people they all start laughing. Obviously, everyone here knows each other. And the bard that was originally playing music, Reverie, that you sort of walked up and started dancing with, just starts giggling and goes, "Hey, I've never seen you around here before."
Really? I feel like I've definitely been here before.
Well, I
guess
never
I just
seen
have
you.
a forgettable face.
Oh no, don't sell yourself short.
I'm very tall, actually.
That's not what I meant.
What's your name?
Oh, me? My name's Jean. What is your name?
Oh, you can call me Rev.
Rev, a name as beautiful as your face.
Oh, my face is actually horrifically scarred, but I appreciate that very much.
Oh.
But it is a nice face, isn't it? It was the first thing I thought when I saw it the first time.
Oh.
I said to her, "You have a delightful face." She wasn't in a great time, but it was, it was fine. Anyway, how long have you stayed here? Everyone here seems to know you. This seems like a great little place. Everyone just came out and did that so fast. Does that happen often?
It does. Valiare is a very community-oriented place.
That is amazing. I love this place.
We are just a little hunting community.
Well, they seem like a very fun hunting community. So here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that I am supposed to be somewhere right now, but I can't remember where it is, so I think it's not that important. So what do you say we go again? She pulls out her pan flute again and says, "You pick a song. I'll pick it up after."
I think at this point, Lady Reverie would once again hear Charybdis' voice in her head and say,
Reverie, we have places to be, you know.
Sticks her head up. Charybdis?
You probably see her over by the fountain, just with her arms crossed and, leaning back slightly.
Oh, hi, Charybdis. Come here, this is Jean.
She,
He's very
kind of, shrugs her shoulders and then struts up to them and says,
A pleasure. Reverie, I think if we keep Chrono Harris waiting any longer, he might be...
She, looks off to, nothing in particular.
Up to something.
That is true. He is so stressed that I'm honestly concerned that he is going to die at any second. We should probably go back.
We should go back.
Oh, I hope they'll all be okay. They have a long journey ahead of them, just like me. But I think when they finally meet my lady, they'll understand and be able to help her.
Hey everyone, it's your DM Chaz speaking, and thank you so much for watching the 5th episode of RollBound. RollBound's episodes will premiere every Monday on both YouTube and Spotify. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at RollBoundPC for more updates to TRPG content, and most of all, memes. Hope to see everyone next week when the party sets out into the Vairon wilderness for the first time to head to the city of Firefall. See you then.